Good evening, family. It is your girl, Monique Nicole, and it is Elevation Wednesday. Welcome, 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 welcome. Now, listen, I know that it's been a minute. I know, okay? I know it's been a minute. Life has been lifing, and it's okay, but I'm real. But we're here. We're present and we are moving forward. So let me say this clearly. Elevation Wednesday is back and we are going forward every Wednesday. So you can expect an encouraging word from me to help you get over your midweek hump. Shoot, help me too, okay? This is our pause, our reset, our reminder that you are called, still capable, still moving forward. So, you're probably asking, what is Elevation Wednesday? Okay? Elevation Wednesday is where we focus on mindset, growth, intention, and execution. This is where we take that breath in the middle of the week, reflect on where we are, and realign ourselves for what's ahead. By the time Wednesday hits, you've already lived through Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. You've worked, you've handled responsibilities, you've dealt with people, emotions, and pressure. Now you're home, you're decompressing to figure out how to finish the rest of the week out strong. This is the space for that moment. Now, let me share with you about the podcast. Okay. Now, let's elevate. For those of you that are new, welcome. The podcast is called Let's Elevate. It has 3 core segments. Each of them are different, but they all work together to help you and I grow. So, I want you to know. Let me break it. So today we're going to do Elevation Wednesday. All right. So Elevation Wednesday is the segment that's all about encouragement, perspective, and intentional growth. We're going to talk about life, mindset, discipline, faith, and what it really takes to move forward when things just aren't perfect. Think of this as your midweek check-in with no judgment, no pressure, just honest conversation to help you stay grounded and focused. All right, now this one is my baby, okay? This one is my baby because as we grow, you'll learn that unspoken truth has a lot of history, okay? So now this one is where we go just a little bit deeper. The unspoken truth is where we take cultural norms. We take cultural norms and we place them next to biblical truth. Okay, now look, let me give the disclaimers. The purpose of this is not to shame anybody. It's not to condemn anybody, but it's to bring clarity. We're going to talk about things that people just don't say out loud. They're just thinking them in their head. Okay, relationships, identity, boundaries, healing, obedience, purpose, truth delivered with grace. But listen, it is still the truth. Okay. Now, the one that everybody is the most familiar with is the why experience. And the why experience is that segment that highlights my entrepreneurs, my leaders, my change makers, people doing something positive in their communities. We don't just talk about what you do. We talk about why you do it. Okay? We're going to talk about the real story, the setbacks. And see, that's the thing that a lot of people, they just don't talk about. They want to present I'm here and I made it. And what did you go through to get there? Okay? Because that's the real part. Because sometimes there's the part where your faith kicks in, because there are those faith moments where you calling on Jesus. And then the biggest thing, the takeaways are the lessons learned. because someone out there needs to hear your story to believe that they can do it too. Okay, so now let's go to why we're here to begin with. Elevation Wednesday. Now, initially, I had planned to do today's talk I was going to do like a prelude for Unspoken Truth. I wanted to lead into Unspoken Truth with the topic of love because it is February. So everybody's worried about Valentine's Day and what you're getting and all that good stuff. Okay, so that conversation is coming. Okay, you check me out on Sunday because we're gonna start digging into this month. But everything shifted because I had a conversation with a friend who shared some goals with me. And then they said this thing to me. They said that I am too old. And I was like, oh no, you just shifted my whole thing for this week. So I'm using it, but I'm too old is not the option. Okay? I had to stop them right there. No. People, hear me when I say this. As long as you have breath in your body, you are not too old. Okay? Life is not about age. It's about mindset. So here's the real question. How are you thinking? Do you look at the glass half full, or do you look at it half empty? Are you really looking the man in the mirror, and are you being honest with yourself? Okay? Are you optimistic or realistic? See, everything comes down to three things, okay? Your mindset, your intention, and the biggest part, and sometimes I wonder if this is the hardest part, is the execution, because I'll be the first to, I'm just saying, okay? All three of them have to work together. Now, write the vision and make it plain. Okay, now look, I did not quote that scripture verbatim, so please do not, okay? But culturally, look, that's how we know it, okay? But it only works if you're honest about what season you're in, okay? How do you know where you're going if you don't have a plan? Okay, writing the vision helps you separate what actually matters. Then what does it? It clarifies what you're now versus what's later. It gives you're able to move with intention instead of emotion. You're able to have structure, okay? Because you know that there are guidelines that are in place. Your life doesn't have to look like somebody else's timeline. So let me do myself as an example, okay? So in my early 20s, I wanted my CDLs really bad. Okay, I really wanted my CDLs, and anybody that knows me knows that I've been talking about my CDLs forever. Or I'll get the question asked, well, why you don't have your CDLs? Well, let's tell you why I don't have my CDLs. Okay, in my early 20s, I was divorced. Okay, and I had not only one child, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 children, and I'm divorced. Now, life didn't allow that dream to happen. Life didn't mean that dream was dead. Okay? Now, it only meant that dream was just delayed. Now, fast forward 20 years later, and yes, I said 20, okay? 20 years later, now my children are grown, and I have more freedom, and I have the opportunity to go back and get my skills. Now, here's the catch. It's the same desire. It's just a different season. And see, that's the part that people miss. Okay? So today I want you to decide, okay? I want you to decide, what's that thing that you've been thinking about? What's that goal that's been quietly sitting in the back of your head? Don't dismiss it. Don't rush it. I need you to plan it, because it's not too late. And, beyond contrary belief that you're not behind, you're right where you need to make your next move. But the key part is that if you choose to do it, okay? So, what you gonna do? That's the question. So, that's my encouraging word for Elevation Wednesday. I am so glad that you are here. So, all I want you to do now is decide what the execution is going to be. We're going to grow. We're going to do our check-ins. And if you were here, drop a comment and just let me know that you showed up. All right? And we are going to do this thing together. And so in the meantime, until next week, go be awesome.